Well, anyway, we'll get started. This is a great idea, I thought, having a club roundtable for this area. And I want to thank the Delta Club for, one, stepping up and doing this Ham Fest, because it did not look good for a while.
For sure.
It did not look good for a while. Come on in.
Come on in.
You're always welcome.
I know it. Someone give me a phone.
Get you a sandwich, Henry.
Hey, Henry.
But yeah, but it's a good thing that it looks like it's been a success.
We're going to put this in the firm success column.
Going from wasn't going to happen to success is outstanding. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, I think this was.
We could not have done it. It has been a community effort.
Yeah.
We could not have done it without the community. Neshoba has stepped up and helped, and other clubs have stepped up and helped. But we really just could not have done it without the community rallying around and helping. And we're looking forward to next year, the year after that, and the year after that, just growing and getting better and better.
Yeah.
I personally am really looking forward to 2028.
Yeah, that's the year. Yeah. Well, 2028, this is officially going to be the Delta Division Big Convention. So, not just specialty operating convention, it's going to be the Delta Division Convention here. So, looking forward to that. We're going to have a big blowout.
Cool.
So, I think this is a winner. Absolutely.
From where I can see, you guys did good, especially Steve and I were talking earlier with the amount of time you had to pull all this off.
Yes.
I mean, I know you can look at it and see things now that you've done it the first time and say, maybe we should have done this different, or maybe we should have done it that way. But now you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to find out what doesn't work in order to find out what does.
That's right. You don't know until you try it. If you don't try, you'll never get anywhere.
One of the things, and I'll just talk for a minute about it. One of the things that
Is this the roundtable room?
Yes, come on in. Come on in. Absolutely. Pull up a chair.
That was kind of a thing that we had to look at was, there were a few things where we had to just say, we just got to simplify the first year.
Yeah.
Like, one of the big ones that a lot of people that have attended in the past go, where are the hamburgers and hot dogs? Well, that's a simplification to get this off the ground and make the first year happen. Because we can do a simpler concession environment and scale that up later.
Yep.
But we could not have pulled this off without the team that came around us to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't come back and say that enough. It was really a large group of people, and Steve was the guy in the back, sitting back there that was on point. But I also will take a minute and also say the rest of the Delta Club board came alongside and really empowered Steve and the group of people that Steve assembled to run the Ham Fest, the convention. That was a lot of fun.
And one of my other hats that I wear, along with being division director, is I'm president of the ARRL Foundation. And we put out these grants for Hamfests and conventions, actually. It's for division level events that are running into problems, that have a venue issue, need money to help with that, need money to get stood back up. And this was the perfect opportunity for us to apply that. And this one ticked all the boxes of why the board, the ARRL board of directors, established the fund and handed it over to the foundation to administer, was to save these division level larger Hamfests that were in danger of going out. And this one basically is taking over for Mara, the Memphis Hamfest and Free Fest. And we just all decided that we could not allow that to happen, that we needed an event in Memphis in April to, step up where Free Fest was in that slot and fill that need of the ham community. This one checked all the boxes for, if we hadn't have done that, hadn't helped them out, this would not have, in all likelihood. It may have happened, but wouldn't have happened at the level that it did. And I think congratulations to the club and all the clubs that helped. I think it was a community effort, and it shows what can happen when clubs work together.
Right, and one of the things that I'll add on top of that, and I would encourage all of the club leadership that's here to really focus on, leverage the ARRL from the aspect of, not only does the foundation offer grants, but there are other grants that they offer, whether that's an equipment grant or other things. Leverage those resources and let the advocate that the ARRL is come to your assistance with whatever they may have. Reach out to the leadership team and say, hey, this is the need we have, this is what we're trying to do, and let them point you in the right direction, whether that's a grant application or bring in a different leadership to say, hey, let's help you with this, or let's do a 1AW in the region, or whatever that may be. Don't just think the ARRL is there to just be there. They're there to support us as clubs and help us further the hobby.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'd ask you to remember to take back to your clubs is ask the ARRL for help. They're waiting for you to ask.
Yeah.
That's what we found out.
If you don't ask, we never know. And just coming to us with this problem, I said, well, you've come to the right place, because we do offer those resources. Like Joe says, it's not only just this convention division level event grant. We also offer our standard grants. And we will give you money for good projects. Now, we don't fund income because we got a different way of doing things there. But as far as the foundation grants are concerned, things to help your club, help grow your club. If you've got a problem, somewhere, a good project that you want to get taken care of, that especially if it gets new hams involved, if it puts you out in the community to get more involvement, to get more activity, we'll look at those, especially if it's STEM focused with the younger folks, with the high school or lower grade, elementary, middle, junior high, high school, and even some college folks in STEM. We will look at that very closely and say that's a good cause, and that would get, in all likelihood, if you have a decently written application, will get funded. But it's a good way to get money for your club and to help your club programs and to help continue your growth. Now, we did an exclusive club grants program last couple of years through ARDC. We did not do it this year. We kind of put it on hold for a little bit to kind of let that digest and kind of get some feedback and get some data collected to see, what we need to do to adjust that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come back in the near future.
Do you have a business card?
Yes, it's on the table, at the league table. Just I'll give you one. Don't have one with me right now, but yeah, it's a place to go. And it's like Joe said, let's utilize those resources. We're here to help. We'll help you any way we can, within reason. That's just one of the many things, and all the stuff we could do. Looking at what I'd like for us to think about and kind of take away from here. Look at the struggling clubs in your area and see if there's some way your successful club can help those guys. Because that's something that we are finding works really well. We did a partnering program. Dr. Ed Snyder, who's on the foundation board with me up in Connecticut. Ed's a medical doctor. He's a professor at Yale, teaches at the med school, and is in charge of their oncology operations up there. But Ed came up with this idea called the Marconi Project, where we pair these clubs up. So that's another thing you might want to look at, is the Marconi Project and what success they have. But you don't necessarily or strictly have to follow that prescription. Just helping your fellow amateurs, your fellow clubs out there with some of their problems. It helps everybody. Yeah.
Can't swing a dead cat without sometimes.
Yeah, and let me ask you this question.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, are they Do they get along? Does everybody get along? Or have you got,
We get along, well, we get along, kind of.
I mean, you're not at loggerheads. You didn't start the other club because you didn't like each other. So
Actually, we get along very well.
that's good. That's
Well,
really
and
good.
We're members of each other's club.
And that happens in a lot of places, which is great. I've seen a couple of examples around the country where we've got, Tommy got mad at Bob, and so they formed two different clubs, and they hate each other, and that's.
We've had hostilities in the past.
Yeah, yeah,
Completely understand.
yeah.
And we've grown beyond that.
That's good. You got to grow beyond those. We got an example in Little Rock that happened for years where one guy didn't like the other guy, and they formed two different clubs. And the next thing you know, somebody else didn't like the other guy, so they formed three different clubs. And you know, we had a saying that this particular individual who's deceased, the silent key now, I'm not going to tell ill about him, was responsible for creating more clubs in the state of Arkansas than anybody else. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. But yeah, it became quite an issue, and the guy was, you know, he never gave me any problems. But boy, if he ever took a disliking to you, it was Katie bar the door. But and he could really be vindictive, and that's just, we don't need to be that guy. We've got to build those local club good relationships. I say that all the time in my programs and my talks, that, you know, that's one of the main things in ham radio. We just got to build those relationships, and that's just one of the things we do. And
So, for those that have multiple clubs in your area, what do you see as the mechanism that gets your clubs to work together?
That's assuming that we're working together. We're working separately.
Don't
and
ruin it, we just got.
We're friendly.
yeah,
We're friendly, but I don't think we're necessarily working together on anything. Sometimes, like, we'll get together and exchange some ideas, or, you know, our biggest problem is, man, we're dying out.
yeah, that's
Guys are getting old, they're dying off.
that's
We're struggling with getting new, young blood in the club, well, in the ham radio period. So,
Now, we had a couple that their license expired, and that was actually out here this morning. Couples, their license expired, they were looking for a club, and they were talking to us, and found out that they were closer to Olive Branch. And I said, the guy on the left is Dennis, the one on the right is Doug. And I said, that would be closer for you and work out better. I said, it's not a competition with us. I said, if that would work out better and that would get you guys going to meetings because it's more convenient, then please. I said, we put them on our email list, but I sent them over there to talk to him and Dennis about their club, and I don't know if they.
yeah, they did, they came over. And the thing about working together, I mean, I say that, but Ed is constantly on his group's IO, sending out reminders about our club meetings, about our net and stuff like that. So that is working together. That is sharing. And if I needed something, I know I could call Ed, and he would help me with it or talk me through it or whatever. So I'm fairly new in ham radio. Been in ham radio license for 3 years.
yeah.
So what brought you to the hobby?
I wanted to be able to communicate with the crap at the fan.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
That was the
that's-
whole reason
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
We have a little close-knit group of people that we were concerned that were like-minded, and we wanted to make sure that if something happened, we could talk to each other. And we still haven't got that yet. 3 years later, some people got their license and the radio's in a garbage can because they don't want an EMP to damage it. And some people never got their license, and some people got their tech and never went any further.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking at different ways, like mesh-tastic maybe, to
Right.
be able to communicate easily amongst these folks. So stuff like that is just, ham radio is so vast and
Right.
so varied, and there's so many different ways you can go with it that it's hard to absorb it all. I try to recommend to people, don't try to do it all. Find one thing that you really like, get really good at it, and then add something else to it, because it's overwhelming. It's
Yep.
Bill.
That's right. It's.
That's the advice I got you. That's what you told me.
You remember the old.
How, and this is a broad question, but this is me, that's the question. how do you as a club leadership team broadly reach out and find topics that are interesting to membership to potentially draw them in? And the follow-on to that is, if you're reaching out to people to draw them in, where are you sourcing those additional people to bring in to that topic base that you're trying to create?
Yeah, that's the $60 million question.
Yeah.
So
We've been pretty faithful to the licensing. We meet third Thursday, we license every third Thursday. Or make sure everybody knows if you want a license, we're out there. That seems to help.
Right.
Yeah. What kind of level of participation are you getting? How many tests on average a month?
Probably, let's see, a couple of years ago it might have been 10.
Yeah.
A year, now it's maybe 5.
Yeah, it's dropped down, and
they've got a great group. Those
Yeah.
guys are close-knit,
Yep.
and they enjoy
Yeah.
being around each other.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not all the clubs are like that.
no, there's some that aren't.
We before we started this, there was a club in the 80s, and they got egos and pissing contests,
Yep.
whatever. And then when myself and a few other people got involved, we made a very conscious effort. We are like the American Weasel. The American Weasel is the drinking club with the motorcycle problem. To be a weasel, you have to own a motorcycle made in North America at least 100 years old. So they drink and ride motorcycles. We eat and play with radios. We have a supper club that plays with radios. We have never met in the last 6 years and not eaten. Never. We have a custom grill that says W5HAR on it. We do not meet without eating. And it seems to work.
Yeah.
So you've seen the Harley Owners Group?
Yeah,
logo,
right, yeah.
Ride to live.
Right. Yeah.
Live to eat, eat to
Well, eat to live. Yeah. Yeah.
But it
Well, you
never
have to
really-
actually. There's truth to that.
But
You got it.
because for
You
some
got to.
people, it's not about the radio, it's the socialization.
Well, and that's another thing too, another aspect that we tend to forget because we get so focused on the technical aspects of the hobby, the radio part, the radio sport, the MCOM, the public service, but there's a social part of this. And that, I think, is one of the other keys to a successful club, is you've got good social activities. Everybody likes to socialize in that framework.
And that's,
Everybody likes a hot
Yeah.
dog. We're the hot
Oh yeah,
dog king.
food's great, man. Food's
We've
great.
had a lot of hot dog lunches and a lot of hot dog
well,
suppers.
you socialize around food.
Yeah, you do. It loosens up the
And we're
atmosphere.
struggling with being social these days.
Yeah.
And so we've tried different things. We meet the second Saturday of every month at Jackson on Hatch Crossroad to try to, and maybe one or two people will show up. So it's hard to get when they're not used to doing that. they
Yeah.
get used to doing that. So I even started, I just became president this year. So I'm trying new things. I started
Yeah.
a new committee, the Committee for Public Relations, CPR.
Mhm.
That's what's gonna bring life back into our club, right?
Right.
So their goal is to look at current public events that we can tap into, come up with events that we can do in the public eye, that the public can be invited to, and those kind of things. And try to figure out ways to draw in non-amateur radio people into the amateur radio world. Because I think the problem is, there's a lot of people that are interested in amateur radio, they have no idea we even exist. We're like
Yeah.
an invisible club, they don't
Mhm,
know
mhm.
who we are, how to get in touch with us, there's just a total disconnect. So we need to somehow get in front of the public that aren't exposed to amateur radio and get our name out there. So one of the things Bill kept pushing for over and over again, let's get in a parade with our banners. So
Yeah.
Here's our club.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that. We
Yeah.
need to do things like that. Bill's on our CPR committee. So this Hamfest is
Mhm.
a CPR committee.
One
Yeah.
of the things, I don't want to interrupt you,
Mm.
but I was gonna say, like, I have a business card, right now it's just got my name and all, I mean, my club's new, so, but I think that you should have like a recruiting card where, it says, Hobart, amateur radio club, and on the other side, when we meet, where we meet, and an email address, and then whoever's giving the card out, and if they want to, hey, here's my number, if you've got any questions, you can call me. Because the one thing I think is a struggle is not everybody can walk into a room and not know anybody. That's the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Two is the speed. So generally they don't speak,
Mm-hmm.
and then they leave and never come back again.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a card that said something like, if you think CB is fun, but I've always thought it was a little tacky. I've never done them, but, you know, we have quite a few. They had in Forest City, Arkansas last week, and they had 200 people show up for CB radios.
Yeah.
And they had a big event there, and I just, it's, you know, I'd like to recruit them, but I don't want to do it meanly.
One of the biggest mistakes I think that we as a group of amateurs in the league made back in the 70s was not fully embracing the CB guys and going after and recruiting those CBers, because I know several that did get into it and made fantastic amateurs, made really good amateur radio operators. They had the love for radio. They had gotten a little taste of it. They had to pass a code test, but you know, if they were willing to go that far, you know, there's.
But the code test is no longer.
But that's no longer. But the same thing. You got to pass a test to do it. If they're willing to sit down and.
Effort to study.
Yeah, exactly. You know, even though they give you the answers, it still takes effort to study. And you know, if you're making an effort, you know, it's. Unless the guy's just a malignant, you know, problem causer like the blue waffle jammer down in Louisiana that the FCC came and put him away for life apparently because he had another little problem with this other three-letter.
I think the term
Yeah.
is free bander.
Rest. Well, he was interfering maliciously with the repeaters, and then he got maliciously interfering with HF, and then he started going after public service. And then they got down there and told him to shut it down, and you know the judge fined him. He told the judge to go stick it where the sun doesn't shine. So the smart boy, they got looking, and then there's this other three-letter agency, the IRS. They figured out he owed a lot of money. That boy's gone.
It's all
That
the
boy's
IRS.
gone. Yeah. Well, you know that's how they got Capone.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but
Well, so kind of an example is when I first went and got my technician test, went and passed it, sat through the entire club meeting, and the guy at the end said, "Any questions?" I said, "Yeah, who are you? You never introduced yourself. I have no idea who you are, what your role is in the club."
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, we forgot to do that.
oh yeah. Excuse me.
Well, you say that, but you would be surprised. I mean, I went to the first couple of the amateur radio meetings when the club got fired back up,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no idea what they were talking about. Not a lick.
So-
Now, our current president was smart enough to see that dumb look on my face and say,
Oh wait a minute.
hey, you know, because it took him through explanations to explain how a repeater worked.
Yeah.
So,
We
I
get
mean,
it.
but
We get into a
sometimes
bunch
you gotta
of,
stick to it.
yeah, we get into a bunch of TLAs and stuff that just.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, it's.
And you have to dumb it down for people that are just new. You gotta understand your audience. And I think that
Mm.
you
Is that
take for
what DMR
granted.
stands for, dumb mobile radio?
DMO dumb.
I think we,
I have a question for you.
This ain't been recorded, is it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Hey, that's fine, I retired in July, they can fire me anytime they want.
That's fine.
it's live broadcast.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of questions for us then, as a collective group of leadership. How many of you have youth tangentially or directly involved in your club? And if so, how did you get them there?
I mean, what was your?
Youth.
You.
Youngsters,
Yeah, that's another big problem is how do you get them? And we had one member in our club that was involved in Boy Scouts, and every year during the one camp, we would go teach the thing. But it's like, you need to include other club members in that so that everybody has experience doing it. And we've never seen a youth come to our club meeting from that. So it didn't yield anything. They got their merit badge, so what?
yeah.
You know.
We had a little bit of luck with some youths getting involved in some license courses. We got them in, and one of the things we do is take one of our classes, get a few years membership, and they showed up for a year and then that was it. And how to get them to stick became one of the issues. And I think one of the major things I see across the board is a lot of people come in, get the technician class license, but it's kind of limited in what you can do. They get a radio and it sits there and it gathers dust, and then they kind of fade away. It's how do we get them involved? One of the things we've been working on, I'm sure the Delta's been working heavily on, Field Day is a great opportunity
Yeah.
to get people involved.
Mhm.
So you're not supposed to have the same people set up the antenna every year?
No, but it works that way now.
It often, too often, it does do that.
I think that you're not going to get, I've got a 14-year-old daughter. So, I mean, think about what you're asking. Now, I came from no background in this at all, never knew anybody or anything. So, my daughter, for example, you say, hey, I want to try to get her to get amateur radio. And I don't know anything about it. So, you're looking at $400 or $500 to be able to get them in this. You know, you're competing against PlayStation, Xbox, lots of other things.
TikTok, Facebook.
Really, where I-
Yeah,
you wanna get
yeah,
people
that's just
into it,
idiot.
It's the same way you got them into it now. but
Yeah.
it's a little different. As in, most people who get into this have a relative, a parent, a neighbor who's into it. And that's how they get introduced into it. As in, you're gonna have a kid that, I wanna Yaesu, T990, you are going to the very minute percentage of the children of that.
Yeah.
They need to be introduced into it, and that is through your best. Who's your best growing demographic? It's going to be in your 20s.
Mhm.
20s. One, they are more likely to be able to afford it. They have children, young children, so the children are going to be introduced to their parents. There's nothing wrong with the school and having stuff like that, but if you lose that, you will lose your. There's no way you won't.
Right.
Yeah.
There's too many other options.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm a new club and I'm new to this and everything else, so I can't, but I am reaching out to our schools.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's gonna lead me, but I am trying that.
It,
And I'm gonna try to get where we have the space station communicate with
Yeah.
Carterville High School.
it is the STEM aspect that will get you in with that. That's one thing we need to emphasize, STEM. This is a good mathematics, practical mathematics teaching platform. This is absolutely where I mastered trigonometry as a young man, and studying for the advanced exam. And after that, I understood it. I knew how it worked. In fact, my classmates would just say, "Yeah, if you don't understand it, go talk to Norris. He knows that stuff."
Yeah,
See, also as into, like,
Yeah.
when you get your people, you get, teachers, you get police
Yeah,
officers.
exactly.
These are people that will bring, it's like with ours, I already have police officers and firemen that are gonna be on ours. And we're tying it in with the city, where, as in, if you have a problem with something, you have people in the city that can help you.
But as far as schools go, I think it's hard to go reach the kids.
Yeah.
And middle school seems to be like the prime age, right? In high school, the boys are interested in cars and girls. They don't care.
Right.
But
Right.
If you get into the middle school or even late elementary school, but you still can't go in there and just reach the kids. What you have to do is reach a couple teachers.
That's your key.
You have to get
That's your key.
You have to get the
That's your
teachers
key.
excited about it. They'll get the students excited about it, and that makes life a whole lot easier. Now you're in an advisory role instead of the driving force.
You-
The teacher is the driving force, because if you don't have teacher buy-in,
Yeah.
you got nothing.
You can't even get in the front door.
Right.
You can't even get in the door.
Really, what we're all saying is the youth, the teacher, the schools are gateways to the parents.
Right.
Really, truly, to Bill's point, we're after the parents that are there with those middle school children that are looking for interest to keep them active and that they can participate together.
Yeah.
And
They had at the one elementary school that's close to us, they had invited me in to give a talk about amateur radio. Somebody in the school had a novice license.
Yeah.
That tells you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so it was like a club thing, so they had a Lego club, and they had me talking about amateur radio. Man, we had, like 3 different sessions of 30 teachers
Yeah.
each. And they're all like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get in touch with you, I'm gonna get in touch with you. Nobody got in touch with me. So, I mean, it's, somehow we gotta get the teachers truly excited about it.
So another shameless plug, and I'll circle back to this thing. I would challenge all of you as leadership, go to the STEM corner and chase down Mary Jean Hall. She's been through the ARRL's Teacher Institute.
There you go.
Fantastic program. If you want to get a teacher bought in,
Yep.
figure out how to get your teachers or teachers through the ARRL's Teachers Institute.
Yep.
They will come back fired up. And they will come back and stay so busy that they will no longer be able to participate in your club because they're so busy in school
Yeah.
teaching STEM.
That's right.
And I presented that during my presentation today.
And the guy you need to get a hold of is Steve Goodgame, K5ATA, up at headquarters. And Steve's got all kinds of great ideas and helpful hints. Steve's an old Batesville, Mississippi boy.
Talking faster than I can hear.
Yeah.
So Steve, what?
Steve Goodgame.
Good game?
Good Game spells just like it is. Good Game. Goodgame. Steve Goodgame.
What's his call sign?
K5ATA. He is from Batesville, Mississippi.
Alpha Echo Alpha? He's a good guy. Okay.
He is a good guy.
One of the things that we did a few years ago, and it was actually shortly after we came down, my boy was in Scouts, so y'all, Doug, hit on the Scout thing for a minute. The Scouts are working on merit badges.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the merit badges is a radio merit badge.
Right.
So, and that was the year that they were doing Jamboree of the Air, Jamboree on the Air. So we did a merit badge at the house, had the kids in his group come over, and we did that so they could all get that. Got them interested in radio. It's an introduction to it. One of the Scout leaders actually ended up getting his license. Then we did the Jamboree on the Air, and we had 4 different Scout troops that all came out to the house, and we got all of the boys on the radios as part of that. To complete their merit badge, they had to make contacts. So we got them on the radio, and they all took turns, and then the people that they worked sent QSL cards, and we made sure we looked up these troops and got the QSL cards to them so they could all have a little token of that where they made that contact in Texas or wherever it was.
Yeah.
So they got to
Yeah.
sit down on the radio and talk about some of the stuff that they had just learned. And in doing that, their enthusiasm goes back to the parents. We don't ever know where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
How it affects the parents with their interest too. But you're planting the seed and hoping that it'll somewhere it'll start growing along the way. And it was a fun event. We did it out at actually Kara and Obark both did it out at the Ag Center in Tunica one year. And we had the kids coming in, getting on the air and stuff. It's a lot of fun. But
Jamboree on the Air is a lot of fun.
Jamboree on the Air is a hoot. You can actually hook some kids doing that. You really can.
Yeah, so it really takes hands-on events.
It takes hands-on events.
More than just-
Yeah, it's more than just.
The merit badge. And so the other thing I think we can capitalize on is we've had a couple cell tower outages.
Yeah, that's.
Recently.
Yeah.
So you want those younger families that have kids, hey Dad, you away from home and you can't get a hold of your wife, you don't know if she's okay, they don't know if you're okay, we can fix that. You can get an amateur radio mobile in your vehicle, you can talk to your wife,
Mhm.
let us explain how to do it. And then you get the whole family.
Yeah. If you can hook the whole family, and that's really good. Talking about Scouts, the merit badge, the radio merit badge, so closely resembles the material in the technician that is a really good way to just say, we're doing this merit badge class, but oh yeah, also since this is so closely related to the material, you guys are going to get your technician license. And we've done that a number of times. I'm a merit badge counselor, and we have done that and it works. And then it's just a little bit to upgrade those folks to general. And once you upgrade those kids to general, you probably got them for life.
So, if you can get a scout, I'm a Eagle Scout, scout leader, love scouting. If you can get a scout to general, you have changed their world because you now put two very dissimilar hobbies adjacent.
Yeah.
As a general, and with a scout and camping and POTA, you're done.
Yeah.
You got 'em hooked.
You got 'em in.
They won't wiggle off of that hook because
Yeah.
what you've done is you've taken an adjacent love, camping, outdoors, and radio, new hobby, and put them together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, each troop is looking for an event or an outing every month.
They're
Right.
looking for reasons.
So,
to
hey, go to this park, do a camp out, do a POTA activation.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy, but you gotta get troop leaders that are excited about it.
Yeah.
And have them know.
Inviting them to have the field day.
Yeah. Invite them to field day. Field day is good advertising.
Well,
It's good PR.
It is, it can be, but sometimes we get all focused on making contacts with field day. So I propose to our club, let's have a field day-like event that's not associated with field day. It's purely for the public.
Do a POTA. That's something we've been doing, and
But, you know, we
Yeah.
operate in the city park, that's not
Yeah.
a POTA.
Yeah.
So we can go in there, but instead of focusing on the contacts and the radios, we'll focus on everybody walking by.
Yeah. And that's
The focus is.
that's
But that may be one of the problems.
yeah.
is we are tending to focus, you know, you said something about POTA. POTA is not a competition.
Mm-mm.
It is not. Now, everybody you talk to says, well, I'm on page 3 and I've got, POTA was designed to go out and make contacts.
Yeah.
Field day is designed to set up those radios in an emergency environment. It is technically not a competition.
It's-
The more we treat it like a competition.
Yeah.
Me personally, I told Winter Field Day last year, and we didn't participate this year because of the weather, but I told them last year, there should be points for how good a meal you serve. I'm saying, they said, hey, that's good. Think about it. How
Yeah.
many people do a field day and don't eat?
Right.
Yeah.
Look-
Everybody
look at
eats.
Facebook's field day and how some of them guys are doing gourmet steaks. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
crap, all we do is fish. But we need to turn it away from a competition and make it more about setting up and having somebody else set those antenna up that's never done it.
And
One of the
see,
things
that's
I
one
find
thing.
with field day that's great to the public is if you have enough people, unfortunately usually do between those, if you have people meeting people, talking around, but telling them how amateur radio fits in for emergency communication. We're here, we're setting up where nothing existed before, it was a mass disaster, this is how communication now, and it brings that, starts to get them interested because they understand what the role is in the community.
Yeah.
Walk over and have them hear some contact, maybe put them on the GO station.
We have-
Start to really get them involved.
We've been pretty
Because
lucky.
There's a special need for it, and we're in a public park, so we've got a lot of visibility. So it's just a matter, I think, of devoting some of your resources, it's not just working about making contacts, but having to meet with the people, talking around, and things like that. We tried one thing that didn't work last year, but we're gonna give it another try. We're right next to a public library. And they do a lot of events, and we're often was an event, probably a little too close to it, but get the news out, that we would do an overall presentation about how it's radio and how it's important in emergency communication, and then walk the people from there over to the field day side to see it in action. So it's not just a classroom presentation, so to me, field day is it's got a lot of core to it, that if you use it right, should be very helpful.
Really, really powerful.
Yeah.
It goes.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that I've been planning is, I mean, we're still new, so I'm still, but, you know, instead of making the field day as big of a thing as it is, to where, you know, 'cause summer's coming up and all. But, like, Omar's is saying, we're gonna do a field day at the what's that park?
Olive Branch Park.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and all the clubs are invited. And then, and you don't have to have where you gotta bring out the big trailer and all that stuff, where you got the, basically it's like a POTA. And, you turn around and, Carterville, I'm sure is gonna have one, 2 Saturdays, next. And it's gonna be in Carterville and used for your portable stuff, not a big, 6-man team trying to put up a giant antenna, just our normal get together, bring up a couple of banners and stuff for people who are at the park, which are, hey, what are y'all doing? And I think that's
Let me ask you a question. From the ARRL, is there any help that we can get to put on an informational awareness thing about amateur radio, what it is, how you can benefit from it to the public that's not amateur radio? Is there anything out there already, like an outline, a framework that we could use to talk to the public? Because I wanted to do, that's the biggest challenge, right? We need to get out in front of the public that doesn't have any idea. And I was going to have a public meeting at the library and discuss what amateur radio is, what it can do for you, what its uses are, emergency services, and all those things. But I need help. I'm not the guy to write that. I'm not skilled enough to write it. I don't have the fact. I'm only 3 years into the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I need help. Does ARRL have anything out there that we could help use to reach the public like that?
There was the PR kit at one time, and I'll have to see if that thing still exists, but it was a PR kit with brochures and et cetera, but it also, had ways of writing, a press release, how to write a good ad in the paper, how
For field day, they have a.
that's where a lot of
I
that
downloaded
resides.
the Field day
Packet.
2025, I didn't do 2026 yet.
Yeah, the packet.
The kit for field day
Yeah.
has got a lot of good stuff in it that you can.
You can adapt it. You can take that field day. That's where a lot of that stuff
I
resides.
was gonna say plagiarize, but.
Well,
Adapt it.
you can adapt it. You take it, put your name and everything. It gives you like a go by, if you will, copy. That's what you're wanting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that would be a major focus for the ARRL.
Yeah, and we make those.
How to reach people that aren't in amateur radio.
Right, and that field day packet, that's a good start right there. That there is.
It's got a bunch of stuff.
It's got a bunch of stuff in it. Excuse me. Go in there and look and find something that fits your need, fits the bill, and then you can just plagiarize it to your club, tailor it to fit your area.
Is there any way to get that PR kit back in operation?
I'll have to check and
That
see.
should
It
be a
may be.
division.
It may still be there. I haven't looked in a long
That should
time.
be a division of the ARRL.
I mean, it is.
Part of the issue
It is.
Trying to make something that you put out
Stick.
with somebody that you can pass along, especially.
Yeah.
media. And you need an angle, something that's a local connection to
Yeah.
it that brings it out or makes it news. In fact, new is the key word a lot in public relations. That's how you get to the news. If it's
Mhm.
the same old thing and you've seen a
Mhm.
press release on it before, where's it end up? If it's something unique, different, it may get out. And then,
Yeah.
of course, for like electronic media, like local TV news and stuff like that, you better hope for a slow news day.
Yeah.
because,
Well,
that's
that's such basic information. I think the key to it is the person presenting it.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
the person presenting it going, oh, well, here's amateur radio, you're probably not gonna like it because it's boring. Or the guy that's really excited
Yeah.
about amateur
Yeah.
radio.
And
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but, because I really hate to say this, but, we tend to punch a ticket for those points for field day. So the last couple of years, we've been on local radio for field day. Well, if I want to do 2 or 3 of those, because we have 2 or 3 local radio stations, it's hard to get my fellow members, we've already done this, we've already got those points. That's not what the objective is.
That's exactly. You're yeah.
And we can't, once we get those points, again, we are the worst enemy when it comes to
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
I think you need to do away with the point system for the.
Well,
for the day.
that's-
Because the bottom line
Yeah.
is, they say it's not a contest, but it's a contest.
Oh,
If you
God,
got
yeah.
rules.
Yeah,
and you
it's,
got
you
points,
got,
a
it's,
contest.
you know, we call it, and it's an operating event, but it's a contest. People are gonna do it. You're not gonna get rid of that, but it's an opportunity to do something out there and to publicize it.
Looking at field days and the points that are driven around field day and associated with field day, it's not that it's a bunch of points, it's more of a grading system.
Yeah.
So that you can compare yourself, because you have to look at what the focus of field day really is. The field day is you go out into a field where nothing
It exists.
and you operate a radio. You set it up and you operate it. And the points that are associated with field day are really just a way for you to grade yourself against other operations that did the same thing. You say, okay, did I do a good job or did I do a bad job? You know, the definition of a good job is you got on the air.
Yeah,
That's a good job.
you got on the air, you made contact with other stations. That was successful. You were able to transmit a signal under emergency conditions somewhere out of your area.
So the challenge of that
Yeah.
really is, okay, the fact that how many of your membership would be able to go out if you handed them a radio, a power supply, a box of wire, and some other doodads? How many of them would be able to say, okay, I can get on the air? That's the purpose of field day, and that's why we have STEM, and that's why STEM
Yeah.
is incorporated into it, and
You
that's
know,
why math
it's-
is incorporated. Because you have to understand all the parts and pieces so that you can be able to say, okay, I need to build a 49 to 1 so I can build my random wire antenna, or use my in-fed halfway, or I want to build a vertical. Easy.
Yeah.
Dipole
Oh, yeah.
is even easier.
Easier.
But you got to know the math
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
make it work so that it works correctly.
Yeah.
You know, the best example that, I don't want to cheat on Fred, but the best example that I've ever seen of math and field day engineering is the 20-meter dipole that this man built and ran a multiple 3-hour pileups on, just having fun with it.
Mhm.
And it was built with nothing but some copper wire and some EMT conduit, a 2x4, and some truck straps. Okay, he went to rummage through his backyard shed and pulled all the parts and pieces out because he knew the math. He built a 20-meter vertical, and he kicked some butt.
So maybe we have different classifications on field day.
We do.
Oh, there are
There are
absolutely
absolutely. There are.
Do we
There
have,
are.
like a primitive?
Yes, I mean, there's.
I don't look at the rules.
No,
because
no.
it's-
Absolutely.
No,
There's
there are
a lot of
multiple.
pages,
There are
but
multiple
I just
multiple
show up
classes.
and help
Yeah.
out, you know.
There-
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. My personal fun time at field day is the overnight hours.
Yeah.
Because two things happen for me overnight. It gets a little quiet, and you're making contacts to keep the quiet to be quiet, but you're also talking to your comrades and your friends that are sitting on the other stations, and you're just sitting there chewing the rag with them, finding
Mhm.
out their backstory and
Mhm.
what their hobbies are and what their family's like. And you're just sitting there making a contact. You'll talk, make a contact, talk
Mhm.
for 5 more minutes, make it. And so that overnight time for me is a ton of fun because I get to know the person that I'm sitting across from or in the pavilion. Yes.
Mhm. Well, and the thing about it that I look at it with field day is whatever your group, your club wants it to be. Whether we take a vote, the local club that I'm in, we take a vote every spring about whether we want to make it a recruiting / social event or we want to go for points. We take a vote and we look around and we see, we need to get more members. Let's make it a recruiting social event. And we'll tailor it that way. But if Joel Harrison and I happen to be in town for that weekend, it's let's go for points, guys. And that's what we do. And we'll get in there and, run 2 stations as hard as they'll run and, you know, clean up. But, you know, it's what you want it to be. And the food's always good regardless, so.
Sometimes, last year we had a lot of sick people after the field day. A lot of
Oops.
stomach problems.
Uh-oh.
I'll ask my last question and then we'll go. What do you do as club leadership to get your membership to introduce themselves and know each other as club leaders? What's that do?
Well, sometimes, and what I should have done here and I didn't, is I'll just go around while everybody's getting in, we finished up our testing. We've, our candidates getting their paperwork done, we've signed everything, you know, give them their copy of their CSCE. So everybody's getting settled, I'll go around, shake hands, say, hey, how you doing? If somebody I don't recognize, I'll introduce myself. You know, make sure you guys get tickets for the drawing if you're interested in whatever it is we're giving away. And, you know, everybody take a bathroom break, you know, that kind of thing, get ready, and we'll start here in just a few minutes. If anybody else comes in, you know, and I try to make sure, especially somebody that's new, that hasn't been there in a while, that make them feel like that they're recognized, and that they're appreciated for being there. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. So in an effort to steer the ship a different direction, I developed all these different committees. One of them's membership committee. Their sole job is to make people feel welcome at the club meeting. They're supposed to reach out to them. You see a face that you don't know, introduce yourself. Even want to get, like Helena, get some homemade baked cookies would be awesome. And, yeah, he'd wreck me, man. I tell you what, you go to Helena's club, you'll put on 20 pounds. But, and I expect the same out of the 4 officers that sit at the front of the table. I even thought about, forget the whole front table thing, and let's do a big square table arrangement so everybody's looking at each other and nobody's separated like lofty that we're the ruling class, because that's not what it is. We're servants to the membership. And so I try to set the example. I go, if I see a new face, if we got somebody testing for the first time, we introduce them. We try to go around and introduce every club member to that person, right? And, you know, they're not going to remember it because I can't remember their name after they say it. So, you know, I don't expect them to. But you got to do those things to make it more personal. You got to take that practice. Because it's a group of people that come together that like amateur radio.
Yeah.
It's not a group of amateur radio operators that come together. That's the difference, right? It's a group of people first.
Yeah.
And we need to figure out how to interact as people.
I think for us, we have been, I say we, myself, because I just got president this year, and the past president, and past everybody. When we started this club back up, we were very conscious of the fact that everybody checked your ego at the door, and that, you know, we're here to enjoy some food and some radio. This isn't, you know, because I've tried to get the club membership to fire me as being president 4 or 5 times now, and it hasn't happened. I mean, I'm cool with, I was cool with being a tech for a long time, so. But I think a lot of it is you people tend to, you know, get the ego or get upset about something. It's like, look now, we're here to enjoy radio. That's what this is about. Now, there is the deal about making sure people get licensed, and I tell a lot of people, you know, every amateur operator has one thing in common. They took a test from the FCC.
That's right, and passed it.
All sorts of different tests. You know, someone today said they were a novice. That license went out, what, 15 years ago, 20 years ago?
Yeah, 20 years
They're
ago.
still a novice. So they took a test, but everybody took a test. And we as our club, we just try to check egos at the door and enjoy.
Their club is very friendly. I
Yeah.
went up there and visited the first time I joined because I felt comfortable.
You know, we
They
don't play
asked me, they
guitar game.
interacted with me, they talked with me, they wanted to get to know me. That was huge. I wish every club was like that.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll grow if they get the right people.
Yeah.
Be able to reach the right people.
Yeah.
the frustrating thing I have, and I even brought this up before the leadership, is this constant competition among amateur radio operators. You can't just celebrate a new person's success without throwing it at, yeah, but you don't have this. You know, hey, I got Hawaii for the first time. Yeah, but have you ever got Greenland? Why can't you just celebrate a win for somebody? You know, and that's I've met some of the greatest people in the world in amateur radio. I've met some of the biggest jerks in the world in amateur radio.
Surely not.
And they come from all ranges. I tell people,
Surely not.
Hey, well, who's in amateur radio? I said, man, I've seen doctors, lawyers. I've seen the guy look like he lived under the bridge down by the river. I said, it's all kinds. That's the beauty of the hobby. It takes everybody can do it.
We tend to create our own problem with the competition thing. Really.
Oh, I know.
Well.
So I said to leadership, I said, first thing first, we're gonna celebrate everybody's wins. We're not gonna talk about our wins. We're gonna encourage people to keep going, but we're gonna celebrate their wins. And because that makes a big difference. They feel good about it, and then you got some jerk squashing their big, huge achievement that they just got. I mean, you know Josh Cunningham, right? I'm working the 250 award, right? On CRZ. Hey man, how you making out? Well, I got like 18. In the meantime, I've worked 4 bands and have 250. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, keep going. You're doing great. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't tell him about what I got. I said, just keep going. You know, you're doing good. He's limited. He's a young guy. Got family.
Yep.
So then just keep plugging away. I said, all it is, these big, huge milestones are just literally a matter of time.
That's gonna be the problem with 13 colonies this year, because God and everybody's gonna want that 250.
That 250, everybody's going to want them. Yeah.
13 colonies is gonna be tough.
Well, it might be easier. It might have more people operating.
That might,
So-
you know.
That's an interesting club opportunity. Let's pick on that for a minute. So how do you make yourself, total tangent here, so just bear with me. How would you take that opportunity, which I can think of at least 3, and say, let's make some club events around that? Because in a highly contested, congested, sought-after environment, what are the things you need to know as an amateur radio operator to do better? First thing I tell you is go get Fred Merkel and between meters.
We have an 80-meter loop at the college, and that thing is pretty awesome.
It'll tune out.
It-
It'll tune out. It'll tune out anywhere, won't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably efficient. That's a good idea. We may have to get the college to open up.
Where I was headed with that is, you know, improve your antenna, improve
Mhm.
the station, improve your operating protocol. All of these things are things that way you can bring to you say, let's talk about how you could do these. How do you practice digging a station out of the S4?
But in my mind, I'm thinking POTA, right?
Warfield Day.
Where you function like a multi-operator POTA station. Stand by for second operator. Stand by for third operator. Stand by for fourth operator. And just while you got the guy on the air, just get them all.
I mean, the point that I'm making is there's some great opportunity to do some elmering and some mentoring and some club activities around that and some hands-on activities around that.
Yeah.
Our last winter field day, you know, we didn't do this year, but it was last year. We had a couple of people, Kenny being one of them, that we just stuck on the radio. I said, guys, you know, the best way to operate is to operate, and we just,
Mhm.
and they after a while they got it. So
How many of you have got a spouse that has a license also? Okay. The reason I say that is at field day, if you want to hear somebody bust a pile up, put a YL on there.
Oh, yeah.
Throw a call sign out there. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it
you'll
is.
break that pile up even faster. That young lady right
oh
there.
yeah, the kid.
Yeah, right there.
But it's,
Yeah.
true. I've been licensed for 36 years.
well, you can hear me better.
And it's,
I can hear.
I've been a DXer my whole ham radio career. That was my passion, it still is. So I'm used to listening to stuff where there's no signal strength.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing it, and it's, and I know key things, and I don't mean to be tooting the horn, that's not where I'm going with this, but I'll hear that, and I think, if I hear a YL's voice will cut through that stuff, and it's on something low like that, it's so much easier to hear.
Yeah,
It is-
it's that higher pitch.
It is.
It is, literally, that's what it
Built-in
is.
amplifier.
Yeah.
Here's the,
Yeah.
here's the trick that you teach your membership.
Yeah.
Okay, so male voices have a lot of bass in them. Notch it out. Tune your rig, because your rig can tune it up.
Right.
Tune it up. Add more treble. So have you noticed, if you're contesting, have you noticed that all of the a lot of the high power contest stations are all sound that really distorted super het tone to them because they toned all their bass out.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
got that squeaky, you know.
Well,
Well,
you got
you hear
the
them.
dual high.
You got the dual how, you switch it to the higher pitch on that, on the
Yeah,
on the
for the contest.
contest,
So you
yeah.
hear 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right, I mean, it's changing the frequency of it.
But I mean, and these are the little things that as we take to the membership,
It's the
bring
DX machine.
opportunities to learn but there's other things too. How do you get to adjacent meshtastic? How do you get to adjacent 3D printing? How do you get to adjacent go boxes? There's a whole adjacency in power boxes. How do you go drag people in through all the adjacent hobbies and figure out how to get them engaged and keep them engaged and bring more membership? Because at the end of the day, we all want more members in our club so that we can, to be selfish for David over there,
Yeah.
we all want more membership in the ARRL.
Right, same thing, and they help each other too, you know, that's the deal. You've got to do something for your club. I mean, you've got to have activities, and you got to do something that people want to do. You can, and that includes the food and fellowship, but you know, there's also, like Joe says, these operating hints and kinks and tips and little things that we do. Have a program on something. Go out and do something hands-on, but have an activity.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, that brings up a great point, and I'm gonna remember that for field day, because there's some people that don't operate FT8 much. And we had that big problem with that last year, where guys were messing with everything, the settings, and they had no idea what they were doing. Like, stop touching it, you don't know what you're doing. So why not have people that are more experienced with FT8 sit there and, hey, let me just, I'm behind you, you're driving it, but you're gonna get some experience with this.
I'll tell you, I'll try to wrap up with a funny story on that. 2 years ago, I took my 7300 to field day for the Conyers station. And I forget what happened. I ended up not being present. Somebody else was running the station. And I came back and I found, man, my radio is just doesn't sound right. They had been playing with just about every setting that was on the radio.
Yeah.
Because it was ghosts.
Yeah.
I mean, you had kids who was just turning knobs. And I
Everything's
appreciate
out.
that.
My
I
filters.
like that.
Who
But,
touched
I
my
mean,
filters?
okay, gotta get back.
Don't touch it.
But the point that I make about that story is, I applaud them for touching it and experimenting with it and saying, what does it do? Because then they learn something.
Yeah.
If you change every setting on my rig and you learn something, great. I know how to put it back, I'll put it back. But you learn something too, that's what it's about for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think about this, and think about this too. When you were a new ham, did you like the older ham, the more experienced ham that showed you how to do things, took time to do it, or did you like the guy that came and bit your head off for doing something wrong?
Yeah.
Amen.
That kills us. That right there, that ladder, that kills us. And we don't need to be doing that.
You're right.
Last thing, a couple of things I'm gonna poke at us a little bit. You know, the club book set, that's a great way to get into libraries. Hop on it, $250, it's a bargain.
It's been there and went away and it's come back.
Yeah, we brought it back. We're wanting to emphasize this as a program for the club to go in and make some inroads at the libraries, get some classes set up, and start something with them as a STEM, activity. There's benefits to affiliation. If you're not an affiliated club, look at all the lists and things you can get. You can get discounts and ads and club ads and QST. Did y'all know that? You've got the email forwarding service. You get the annual report. You get a referral of prospective new amateurs in your area.
Where do you get that?
Just ask for it.
Ask who?
Headquarters, just send an email to me.
What, headquarters?
Yeah, just send an email to me. I'll get you lined out. That's something I wanted to add. Okay, where is it? Oh, club commission program. If you're not doing that, you're missing out on free money.
What is it?
Oh, what is it?
Another topic.
It's another topic. We're not going to get into that. Come soon. You get this little form here. You let your members renew their membership or get new members in ARRL through your club. Buy it through the club. You do. Where did that go? There it is. You get a small percentage. Okay, that's what's wrong with it. It's out. Yeah.
I mean, that's just called, the club needs money.
Yep.
If you're gonna be ARRL members.
Yep.
Yeah, I found that out pretty quick. Everybody wants to spend the club money, but nobody wants to make it.
That'll make the club money, and if they're renewing their ARRL membership anyway, why not get $5 off of that? And if you get a new member into the league, that's $15 that goes to your club. So I can't get that form to open for some reason now.
What was that called again?
Club
Commission?
commission. Let me find it again.
So they just renew through your club?
You just renew through your club. Club commission program.
So, we're talking club leadership, we're talking forum, we're talking how clubs can help each other out. So I'm gonna give Joe Lowenthal, WA4OBO, shameless plug, he's sitting somewhere in the venue over there. Go find him, talk to him. He'll tell you how
Yeah.
to make the club commission program work for you.
Yeah, he's doing it the right way. It's working for the club. It's working for us. He's got a way of doing it that you do the PDF scan in of the forms and everything's filled. You don't have to mail anything, basically, is the deal with that. So that saves you time. So go talk to Joe Lowenthal about it. And if you need anything from me, I'm always available. Come get my card and just email me on what you need, and we can get you a list. There's a way. I'll get you in touch with the right people at headquarters to get set up on that. You just got to go online and request what you need, and that's that list of new amateurs in your region, and you can go and recruit those folks. And that's really, I want to thank everybody for showing up, and Joe, everybody for coming up with this idea. The club presidents, you do a fantastic job. 2026 is the year of the club, and we're here to help.
We need it.
Just ask. We'll see what we can do. No guarantees, but we'll try.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Steve.
Shut it down.